Good evening, my online learners. I shouldn't say evening. Good morning, my online learners. It's evening for me because I'm shooting the video for you tonight. I had a question come up. I actually talked to a student and she wanted to Zoom with me, and her question was pretty simple. Actually, wasn't even a question. She just told me that the city girls like their cell phones on silent. The 7 pieces of evidence of a chemical reaction really didn't make sense to her. And so I told her I would shoot a video tonight and kind of walk you through some examples so you can see how you apply these. So bear with me a little bit. I am doing some new stuff. As you know, you hear me say just about every single day. I'm going to be editing this video together with short rounds of me talking like this. I will show you a video and then we'll discuss the video. After, I'll tell you when to pause. I'll put a little message over here to pause. But essentially, today we're going to be applying city girls like their cell phones on silent. So in my journal, if you have it set up just like me, my city girls notes with the tabs are on the right hand side, and on the left hand side you should have a blank page. This is where we're going to do our practice. So at the top of the page, go ahead and title it Chemical Reactions Practice Videos. Once you've titled it, and yeah, I'm not going to pause real long because you can hit pause on your video. Once you title it, you're going to write on there video 1. So you can write video 1 and then chemical reaction question mark. You're going to watch a video and then you're going to determine if you've seen a chemical reaction in that video. And then once you've determined, if you say yes, there was a chemical reaction, then you have to provide evidence. That evidence comes from the city girls like their cell phones on silent. So for example, in the video, if you think there's a chemical reaction that takes place because something lights up, then you need to find your tab for light. It says like. So don't use the word like for your evidence, rather fold the tab back and it says light produced, like a glow stick. So light produced is your evidence. As I was saying, we're going to go to the first video. The first video is the longest of the videos. There are 5 metals that are going to be dropped in water. So the liquid that you see in the video is just water like you would drink every day. I want you to think as you are watching this video, is that a chemical reaction? Because you're going to have to answer that.
Now let's see another reaction of the alkali metals, the reaction with water. We'll start with lithium. The metal floats on the water and reacts with it, giving off hydrogen gas. Now for sodium. The same sort of thing happens, although the reaction is a bit more vigorous. All the alkali metals react with water in the same way. Now for potassium. This time you'll see a flame. The heat given out by the reaction is produced so quickly that the hydrogen gas catches fire. It burns with a lilac flame. The next element is rubidium. This time we put a safety screen between us and the reaction. You can see that things gradually become more terrifying as we go down the group. Let's try cesium, our 5th alkali metal.
So in that clip, 5 different metals put in water, and you should have made some observations. You should have been thinking the whole time, was that a chemical reaction? So right now, in your journal, next to video 1, I want you to decide, was that a chemical reaction? You're going to see me throw this up as we're working through this. When you see this, it's the time to pause the video so you can do some writing and thinking. So right now, pause the video. Was that a chemical reaction? So yeah, it was a chemical reaction. It was pretty obvious, I thought. I mean, by the end of the video, you got stuff exploding. So yes, chemical reaction. So now that you've decided it's a chemical reaction, you need to come over to your 7 pieces of evidence, and you need to decide which ones of these, ones, that's plural. You can have more than one piece of evidence. The more evidence you have, the stronger your argument. So which one or more of these pieces of evidence told you that in that video you had a chemical reaction? I think every single class, when we were doing this in class, had somebody that said, explosion, it exploded. There's not an E here. None of these are an E. None of them are explode. So don't make that mistake. So take a little bit of time right now, go through each one, look at girls, or guys, if you use guys, but girls. Did you see a gas produced? The only way you can determine if you saw a gas produced is if you saw bubbles or fizzing. So did you see a gas produced? What about light produced? Did you see at any point in the video where there was light that was being given off by what you were seeing? Another one, temperature change. Did it get warmer or get colder? So without a thermometer or without touching the reaction, it might be hard to determine if there was a temperature change. But you know from experience that fire is hot. So if you see fire, you automatically have a temperature change. So ask yourself, did I see fire? Did I see something freeze? Did I see anything that indicated the temperature changed? Next, cell is color change. Did you see any time that items in the video changed color unexpectedly? Go to phone. Phone is precipitate. Precipitate you can only have if you mix a liquid plus a liquid. So this video was a metal, which is a solid, that was dropped into liquid, a liquid. So liquid plus liquid, no, you cannot use precipitate for this video. On is odor produced. Before you choose odor produced, you gotta think about one thing. Can you smell that video? Because if you can't smell the video, you can't use odor produced. And I can guarantee you that you shouldn't be able to smell the video. The last one you can choose from is silent. Silent is sound produced. Did that reaction make a sound? So take a minute right now. Take a minute and think about that, but pause the video. All right, let's do some work. Let's do some thinking over here. What evidence did we see in the video? Did we see bubbles or fizzing? Did we see bubbles or fizzing? Absolutely. The first 2 metals that they dropped in, all they did was bubble and fizz. So under your evidence, you are going to write gas produced. You saw bubbles and fizzing. I wrote gas produced, not girls. Don't write girls. Write your evidence. It's a gas produced. Coming back over for like, was light produced? Yeah, you saw fire in one of the metals, so light was produced because fire usually makes light. So light produced is another piece of evidence. What about temperature change? There. It's kind of a giveaway. Remember, fire is automatically temperature change because it's hot. So temperature change, definitely. What about a color change? This one's kind of tricky. The video wasn't entirely clear. It wasn't perfectly clear, but you heard the announcer, the person that was talking, say that when they dropped the potassium into the water, it burned with a lilac flame. Lilac is purple. The metal was silver or white, but it burned purple. So was there a color change? Absolutely. You got to see the fire. I'll tell you now that next week I'm going to do a demonstration in class, and I'm going to make sure and record it for you guys of me burning different stuff to see what colors it burns. So that's a fun thing to do, and I know it video as well because I did it last year. So last one, silent. Was a sound produced? Did you hear it as it was sizzling? I think it's another one that is safe to say yes. Sound produced. So in the case of this first video, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of evidence. So can you say that a chemical reaction happened? Absolutely. This video is guilty. It is guilty of a chemical reaction. So let's take a little break. Well, not a break, not for you. I just got to stop the video. Stop video. I'm going to see what video we're going to put next, and we'll come right back. All right, video number two. Video number two. We're gonna go to a college, and some college kids are gonna do a demonstration for us. So video 2, just like before, chemical reaction, and then a question mark, because remember, you're going to say yes or no, and then you're going to give the evidence. If you say yes, you must have evidence, and your evidence comes from City Girls. So let's go to this college and let's see what they have to do.
Today we're testing a few little things out, mainly in the theatre with the help of a little bit of hydrogen down here, which should be quite fun. Nice. Right, we do a really big boy now. There's still quite a lot of nitrogen left.
Alright, let's do a big one.
Alright, you should already be thinking, during that video you should have been thinking, did you see a chemical reaction? So here we go. Did you see a chemical reaction? Yes or no? In that video, I think we saw a chemical reaction. I'm pretty sure we saw a chemical reaction. But we have to ask ourselves, what's our evidence? So go to your City Girls. Find your evidence now and list a few. Pause the video to give yourself some time. All right, here we go. So in that video, what you saw were some college kids popping balloons, and those balloons were full of hydrogen. So when they popped the balloon, did you see any bubbles or fizzing? No, you did not. Like, I didn't see any bubbles and fizzing. I saw some other stuff happening though, and the other stuff was what made it pretty cool. Did you see light being produced? Again, here's a gimme. There was fire, so fire produces light. So light produced. Come back over, look at there's temperature change. Did you see temperature change? Yes, yes you did. You saw fire. So under your evidence you can list temperature change. And yes, I'm abbreviating temperature, and that's okay. So temperature change. Did we see a color change? Possibly, because the fire was yellow. But I want to leave that one off for now. Did we see a precipitant? No, we did not have a liquid and a liquid. In fact, we actually had two gases happening. Odor change? You want to see fire? You want to say fire. You want to say you probably saw an odor change, but it's a video, so no odor change. What about sound? Did you hear sound? Maybe not crackling and popping, but I think with a balloon exploding you heard sound because you heard the boom. So for our second video we have light produced, temperature change, and sound produced. Is that enough evidence to say, yes, we had a chemical reaction? Just one of these three is enough evidence. So you have three, so most definitely a chemical reaction took place. I'm gonna stop this video, and I'm gonna make a second video for you, part 2 for this, because I think YouTube has a limit of how long I can upload. So let's not make that mistake and do too much. Click over to part 2 right now.